Let's go Broncos! Something big might be happening in Denver, and what I'm about to share with you could completely change the course of the Broncos' 2026 season. I'm talking drastic changes, unexpected candidates for cuts, surprising trades, and the kind of strategic roster moves only the most daring front offices dare to make. The kind of move that could transform the Broncos from a playoff threat into a Super Bowl powerhouse in a single offseason. And believe me, these aren't the names being discussed on every TV show. These are unexpected opportunities that could catch the entire league by surprise, but not us. Before we begin, if you live and breathe Broncos football, if you remember the Elway era, the Orange Crush, or if you lived through the highs and lows of the last decade, click the like button right now. And tell me in the comments, what would you do if one of the biggest names on this list ended up wearing orange and blue? Leave your message below like this: Go Broncos! In 2026, we're going to conquer it all! Okay, let's go. What if I told you that a former rival running back, who once dominated our defense, might soon be leading our offense? What if I told you that one of the NFL's most talented wide receivers, currently at odds with his team, might be about to face Sean Payton and Bo Nix in Denver? What if an elite tight end from a playoff contender suddenly becomes available because his team is desperately freeing up salary cap space to sign an elite pass rusher, and we sign him? All of this is real. All of this is possible. And all of this could happen very soon. Stay tuned because you won't want to miss a second of this analysis. Let's get right into it because the rumor mill is already swirling with the possibility of surprise cuts and bold acquisitions. The Broncos are projected to have around $40 million in cap space going into the new league year, and while that's impressive, the free agent market this year is absolutely stacked. Combine that with the fact that 6 NFL teams are already over the cap before the offseason even begins, and we're staring down a wave of potential cut candidates that could make all the difference for Denver. One name that's turning heads is wide receiver Michael Pittman Jr. from the Indianapolis Colts. Now, Broncos fans, you might get chills thinking about this one, not just because of his skill set, but the storyline behind it. Michael Pittman Jr. is the son of former NFL running back Michael Pittman Sr., and this type of father-son NFL lineage just screams for a Denver chapter. Pittman Jr. brings something different from the current wide receivers on the Broncos roster: strong route running, exceptional yards after the catch, and elite ability to snag contested passes. This guy doesn't just move the chains, he powers through defenses. Even in a tough season with backup QBs, Pittman Jr. still managed around 800 yards. If the Colts decide to part ways with him due to cap issues or roster depth, the Broncos could pounce, and since he'd be a cut player, Denver could negotiate a team-friendly deal, be it a short prove-it contract or something longer term. But it gets even spicier. Brandon Ayuk. Yes, you heard that right. If that name sounds like a fantasy football cheat code, it's because when this guy is locked in, he's a game wrecker. Ayuk's fallout with the San Francisco 49ers is well documented. He basically went AWOL, posted cryptic videos online, and was benched during a crucial playoff push. But here's the thing, his talent is undeniable. Possibly the best route runner available if he becomes a free agent or trade target, and what he did in Kyle Shanahan's offense was jaw-dropping. The 49ers reportedly want to move on. And with the relationship between Denver's front office and San Francisco's being strong, remember those joint practices, a trade isn't out of the question. It would come with risk, sure. But if there's one coach who can keep a high-maintenance wideout in check, it's Sean Payton. He's done it before, and Ayuk could be the high-reward piece that elevates this offense to another level. Now let's move to the backfield, because we all saw what happened when J.K. Dobbins went down. The run game fell off a cliff. Enter Josh Jacobs. The former Raider and current Green Bay Packer has been an absolute menace every time he's lined up against the Broncos. He's shifty, durable, and most importantly, he can create plays in the hole like no one else currently on Denver's roster. And let's not forget, he tore apart the best run defense in the league last year in Jacksonville. The Packers, strapped with cap issues after their massive contract to Micah Parsons and top-dollar QB deal, may be forced to move on. If they cut Jacobs, Denver should be the first team calling. Jacobs is a tone setter, and the kind of guy who could absolutely thrive in this offense. It doesn't stop there. Another intriguing potential cut is tight end Cole Kmet from the Chicago Bears. Now this one is fascinating because the Bears are deep in the Max Crosby sweepstakes and will need to offload contracts to make that happen. Cole Kmet is a beast after the catch and has a physical edge that reminds you of primetime tight ends like Gronk. He breaks tackles, fights for every yard, and could be the perfect complement in Denver's offense. Especially with drops being a recurring issue last season, having someone as reliable as Kmet could instantly change the dynamics in the red zone and on third downs. Now speaking of Max Crosby, it looks like he's furious with how the Raiders handled his late season benching, especially since it cost him money due to contract escalators tied to playing time. If he leaves the division, that's great news for Denver. Crosby has been a nightmare for us over the years, and his exit would open up the AFC West even more. Better yet, if the Bears succeed in landing Crosby, they'll have to trim even more fat from their roster, potentially freeing up Kmet for Denver to snag. And if you're wondering if Sean Payton might hand over play-calling duties, there's no indication of that happening. Former Cowboys head coach Jason Garrett recently stated he hopes Payton keeps the play calling reins because he's simply one of the best in the NFL at doing it. The results speak for themselves. Payton got us the #1 seed last season and was just a Bo Nix injury away from potentially reaching the Super Bowl. This offseason isn't just about tweaking a few things, it's about seizing opportunities that other teams can't afford. Denver is in a prime position. We've got cap space, a rookie QB contract, and a front office willing to make bold moves. Alright, let's keep it rolling because there's still so much to dig into regarding how this Denver Broncos offseason could unfold. And trust me, if even one of these names walks through the door at Dove Valley, the AFC West better watch out. Let's circle back to the wide receiver situation because it's arguably the most dynamic area the Broncos can upgrade heading into 2026. With Bo Nix entering his second year, the priority has to be building the best supporting cast possible around him, no excuses. Last season proved that when given time and targets, Bo Nix delivers. So why not hand him a game-changing weapon like Michael Pittman Jr. or Brandon Ayuk? But here's something deeper to think about. Pittman is not just another receiver. He's a yards-after-catch monster who creates separation with both power and precision. That's something Denver sorely lacked last season. And considering the Colts' crowded receiver room, plus the cap strain they're facing after making their own aggressive moves, Pittman could truly be available. And then there's the wild card, Brandon Ayuk. If you want to give Bo Nix a breakout weapon who thrives in motion-heavy, pre-snap disguises, the kind Sean Payton loves to use, Ayuk is tailor-made for it. The only question is chemistry. Can Sean Payton channel that intense energy Ayuk brings and redirect it toward a championship culture? We've seen Payton take on big personalities before and turn them into cornerstone players. Think of what he did back in his New Orleans days. If Ayuk falls in line, he could instantly become Denver's WR1 and open up everything from Marvin Mims and Cortland Sutton underneath. And don't forget the economics. If the 49ers can't find a trade partner, they'll be desperate to move on. That puts Denver in the driver's seat. Now shifting back to the ground game, Josh Jacobs. When healthy, this guy's a top 5 back in the league. What makes this interesting is that he's proven he can dominate in 2 different systems, first as a bruising back with the Raiders, and then again in a more zone-oriented scheme in Green Bay. That kind of versatility is gold in a Sean Payton offense. You want a 3-down back? Jacobs has you covered. Need someone to block on passing downs or split out wide on creative sets? He does that too. If he hits the market, even for a second, Denver should sprint to the phone. And let's be real, after watching him slice up the Jaguars' top-ranked run defense and absolutely embarrass defenders in space, how could you not want that kind of weapon wearing orange and blue? Let's not forget what Sean Payton said about drops last year. It was a problem, an issue that killed momentum in too many games. And that's why a guy like Cole Kmet becomes such an intriguing target. If the Bears are serious about acquiring Max Crosby, and all signs point to them going all in on that move, someone's got to be sacrificed financially. Kmet, though beloved in Chicago, could be that cap casualty. And he's not just a safety valve, he's a legit offensive threat. He fights through first contact like a running back, he has reliable hands, and his toughness over the middle of the field is something Denver's lacked since Julius Thomas was in his prime. Imagine 2 tight end sets with Kmet and Dulcich. You give Bo Nix clean windows, options at every level, and keep defenses guessing. And then there's the hidden storyline that could pay off big time, the domino effect of Max Crosby leaving Las Vegas. His beef with the Raiders is no small thing. He posted that basketball video to send a message. He was healthy and they benched him to protect their draft position. That cost him money and sent a message he didn't matter to the franchise. So now, with Crosby likely exiting the division, that weakens a Raiders defense that's already in flux. Garrett Bowles neutralized Crosby in their most recent matchup, but before that, Crosby had a sack in 10 straight games against Denver. 10 straight. Let that sink in. If he lands in the NFC with Chicago, that's a win for Denver before the season even starts. Meanwhile, Denver stands to benefit from teams like the Bears and Colts making desperation moves.